Hello, welcome to this tutorial series of system design and object oriented design. I am Balasubramanian. Today we are going to come up with a design for Amazon Locker. So what is Amazon Locker? Uh, People can go and place orders from the retailer, and there are times that people might not be available in a particular location for pickup. This is applicable to many roaming employees or people whose office is far different from their home location, or far distant from their home location, and they don't have anybody to pick their delivery. So, what is the safest or secure way of delivering? So, this is a beautiful problem. This is not just applicable to Amazon; it is applicable to any other retailer who wants to deliver goods safely to customers. So the link for Amazon Locker is available here. Please go through it. But I'll just tell the abstract of this problem. When somebody orders an item and they are not able to pick up, they say that they mean the customer chooses a, a locker which is near to them so that the delivery person can come and deliver to the locker, and on the way people can go or customer can go and pick up an item from the locker. So this is the concept. Amazon commercialized it first, and the problem statement is this. So we need to come up with a design for Amazon Locker. So how do you implement this Amazon Locker? How do you come up with a design for this Amazon Locker? This is the problem statement that we are going to look. So let's look into the steps. I have given the courtesy for the steps which I got from LeetCode. So please go through these steps. What is an Amazon? When a customer orders an item with Amazon, they may choose to deliver it to the locker, which the customer can pick up on their way to their home or on the or whenever they wish. The customers can also return the item to the locker. For example, usually 1 in 100 or 10 in 100 items may get returned because of the mismatch in the expectation, or because might be of faulty goods. Usually the pickup happens from the delivery location, which is very difficult for working people, working women, or anything. So what people can do is customers can do is customer can go and find the nearest locker location, and they can place the item there, so that the delivery person or the person who takes in the return can pick up from the locker location. So when goods can be delivered to locker and goods can be returned to locker. So locker is a storage place where somebody can get or put items. That's how we need to assume. The lockers are of different sizes. Locker sizes vary from small, medium, large, extra large, double extra large kind of. These are the sizes of lockers are available in standard sizes. Let's assume that way. Customers, while ordering an item, can pick their nearest location, locker location. For example, if I am ordering from some place, we can go and choose the location from where we can easily pick up. It might be near to the locality that we are living, or it might be near to the office space that we are working on, or whatever may be the case. So we can choose the nearest locker location. The items are kept there for a maximum of 3 days. If an item gets delivered to a locker, the items are kept in the locker for 3 days. Beyond that, it is assumed that the customer did not pick up. The locker gets emptied. Once the locker is closed, the user gets a locker code for them to open the locker. The delivery person can open the door and then keep the item. Once the item is placed or delivered to the locker, customer get a unique 6-digit code, a random 6-digit code to go and open the locker, using which a customer can open. Once the lock is opened and taken out, and then customer chooses to close it, it cannot be opened again. So that is it. So what are the requirements? In the steps we will look into the requirements, because understanding the requirement is very important for coming up with a object oriented design or a system design. First, we are going to look into the object-oriented design. Then we will touch upon the system design concepts for it. I'm not going to explain the entire system design part of it, but I'm going to show a working code of the classes in how it is done, and we are going to drive the results through JUnits. So that's what we are going to do. But we will also touch base on the system design concepts for this as well. This can be a system design question, and this can be a machine coding round also. So we are going to touch base on the machine coding perspective today. Whenever somebody looks says that I need to deliver it to the locker, they should be able to we should the service that we are designing should be able to suggest the nearest locker based on their preferences. After the order is delivered, there is a 6-digit code. This is very important. Whenever certain numbers are specified, we need to ensure that those conditions are met and in our code. There is a 6-digit code that we need to generate, and that has to be sent to the customer. A notification has to be sent to the customer, which contains a 6-digit code, which is used to open the locker. The item will be placed in a locker for 3 days. So why it is important? For example, if I am coming and picking up an item post 3 days, it should not allow. This is also an important question. We need to throw exceptions. Whenever days, digits, these conditions are given in the requirement, we need to be very careful to design our boundary conditions based on this. So that is very important. After 3 days, the item is not picked from the locker, refund process will be initiated. It means that customer has not taken it, so the refund, customer has paid bill, right? Apart from the delivery charges or whatever it is, the refund process is initiated. Amazon locker will be assigned to a customer based on the size of the locker, based on the size of the locker, also based on the size of the purchase. If the order is so big, we will not be able to allocate locker. So based on the package size, we will be able to allocate locker, and that is happening in the background. Customer will not choose what is the size of the locker. The locker size is allocated based on the size of the order. Only certain items are eligible. So since the lockers are of fixed sizes, we might not be able to, or Amazon or any retailer will not be able to deliver bigger carts and other things in the locker. So that is not possible. But other items of defined sizes can be delivered to the locker. Access to Amazon locker will depend on stores opening. For example, these lockers are kept in public places. That is a simple requirement that we can say. Since the lockers are kept in public location, access to the locker is dependent on, for example, we may not be able to, the customer may not be able to go to and take the delivery at midnight. So it is based on the timing, the operation timing is based on the timing of the store or the location where the locker is kept in. Items can be returned to locker, that we have already looked into it. Items that are eligible item. So what can be returned to the locker? It is the same rules which is applicable. What can be delivered into the locker can only be returned to the locker. So it's items of bigger in size cannot be delivered into the locker. Once the door is closed and the user code is and under the user code is expired, or the user code is expired, user will not be able to open the locker. So it means that somebody has taken the item and partially forgot to uh, take some other items and they close it. It means that it's once for all, it is closed. So we may not be able to use the same code to open again. That is one case. Second case is if the customer is not taking, if the code is valid only for 3 days, if the code is expired, we will not be able to use the same code to open it again. These are all the requirements for it. Since we understood the requirement in the nicer way, let's go and look into the data model. How did we handle, how did we come up with a code for this? So that's what we are going to look into. We will start from models, and then we will go into how we stitch the models together, and we will see the working code and test it with a few sample inputs that we have currently. Since it is a locker service, right? It's an Amazon locker. Ideally, it should come to our strike our mind that okay, we need to come up with a class called locker. So every locker, every entity will have an ID which uniquely identifies it. So that is the property ID we have. We told that lockers are of fixed sizes. So locker sizes is an enumeration. We have come up with lockers starting from extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, and double extra large. XS means extra small. So I have not. I've used this the same sizing names which is applicable for the shirts and other things, right? So I have used the same enumeration. It is up to you to expand the name as well. So since the locker is kept in a location, we need to locker will have a reference to location ID. Okay, and the locker, as we told in the requirement, that the locker can only be opened, and the locker, once the items are taken, the locker is closed. It means that these are all states of a locker. So suddenly it should strike, we should it should strike in our mind that we need to come up with different states. So when it comes to this fixed set of states, enumeration is the best way to design it. Whenever a locker is created, or whenever some Amazon installs a new locker, it will become by default this available. Booked means when a locker is assigned, it means it is booked. So next time somebody Amazon tries to get an order, this locker, booked locker, should not be available for others to place an item. So that is booked state. Closed, when the item is delivered, it is closed, and once the item is taken out also, it will become closed. So that's the state. Not opened is that if we can have a background service which is running, and if the item if the locker is not open for the stipulated period, and the locker is closed state, we can say that state the state to dot open, and then mark the item for return process. That's where we can use it. Right now the requirement doesn't say that we have to use this state, but I am extending this requirement. When somebody asks, when you are coming up with a state, that why did you come up with this state, we should be able to clearly explain what we think about not open state. Not open state is something, the item gets delivered, but it is not picked up by the customer for the stipulated 3 days or 5 days. And it is open means whenever a customer opens it, it becomes an open state. So I have not used it these two states, but we will see how we can use it. So this is how we are going to model the locker class. We have looked into two enums, one is locker size and locker status. The next what we need to look into is the locker is kept in a place which is called location, right? Locker cannot be everywhere, so locker should be kept in a location. Let us look into a class called locker location. It can be like store or something, so I've just come up with a class name called locker location. The Since the locker is kept in a location, we have something called location ID. Every location, every entity will have an ID. It is location ID. A location may contain more than one locker, so we model a location has locker location has lockers. Has a relationship that we are maintaining here. So all the lockers are available. A locker location has a geolocation. It is clearly told that we should be able to fetch the nearest locker to the customer based on the customer preferences. So we are storing the geolocation of the locker. Means it might be in a mall. The stars, the mall's stores location or the mall's location is mentioned here. What is geolocation here? Geolocation is we are storing the latitude and longitude, which is double value of it. We can use a radius formula to arrive at the nearest location. Certainly, that need not be coded, but we need to understand that we need to capture the location. And we told that in the requirement, it is clearly stated that the locker is open only for the particular period of time where the locker location is where the timings are applicable to the locker location. For example, if the mall or the stores or your office is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 11 p.m., and that is the time the locker can be utilized. The customer can utilize the locker, right? We can go and open it. So we are mapping the timings. So how can we map the location timing? Every day in a week, the timing may vary. So we are maintaining a map which is having the day of week, and we have something called timing class. What is timing class? Timing class contains open and close time, which is a time. So we have modeled a class called timing, which contains open and close time. And open and close time can be different for different days in a week. For example, Saturday and Sunday, malls may open for may be open for a little longer duration. It may start from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. But on a normal working days, since their business is less, might be less, they might try to close it or try to open it little later and try to close it little early. So we have modeled the location timing as a complex map which is specifically applicable to different days of a week. That's how I have come up with. So let's look into locker location. So we have model locker. We have When we model locker, we looked into the locker location. We looked into locker sizes. We looked into the location and then the locker states. So these are all revolving around locker. Whatever we have to design around locker location is modeled correctly. Uh, um, let's look into what can be kept in locker. Uh, well, an item can be kept in locker. A package is kept in locker, right? So let's go from that perspective. What can be kept in locker? So if we intuitively think when the problem statement is given, while coming up with model, we need to create a story and connect the dots. So what is the primary actor that we are modeling? What are the other actors which revolve around it for it to function well? What are the boundary things that we need to take care? This is how I will model, and this is how I have modeled as well. So first I model locker, next I model the locker location, and what is kept in a locker is a package. So what is a package? A package is a shipped items, a packed number of items for a particular order. So a customer orders, right? A customer usually orders, places an order, and the order may contain more than one items, which is getting packaged as a package, and the package is pushed into the locker. So let's look into the order first rather than going into the package. So every order contains an order ID. In a real retail scenario, an order is a little complex object, but for the purpose of this requirement, let's simplify the order class with the attributes that we are interested in for designing this locker service. An order contains an order ID, and an order contains a list of items. So that can be packed together, right? It can be one item or more item. So what are the items? An item will contain an item ID and the quantity of it, and what location this order has to be delivered to. That is the geolocation. Because usually at the time of placing the order, customer may choose, you deliver it to my near to my office address, locker near the office address, or you deliver it to the locker near my home address. Either of these things can be done. So I've captured the location as part of the order itself. Since the order items in the order are will be packed, so let's look into the package. A package should have a reference to an order, right? This package is for this order, which is easy for somebody to track. We have an order ID. Every entity will have a unique ID, package ID. So every package will have a package size. The package size and the order size need not match. So somebody can pack an item which might, for example, if you are ordering a cell phone, it need not be equal to the size of a locker at all, because that's not how package sizes are defined, and the volume of the package is different from the size of the locker which is available. So we need to do a best fit mapping algorithm. We have to map the package size to a order size, locker size, and then we need to do a best fit algorithm to put an item over there. So that's a complex algorithm. We will look into that later. We are not the idea, the requirement of this design is not to program that mapping algorithm, but we need to think and ask, do we need to do this, or can I assume that that exists? So these are the things which we need to tell up in front, that I assume that best fit algorithm exists. So I'm not going to do it. This is a system design, so I'm just going to come up with a design. This is what we need to tell up in front of the interviewer as well. So as we said, a package contains list of items. A list of items can be put together, and we can pack it, and then the package contains list of items. So we have model list of items here. So how do we initialize the package? A package will be initialized with an order ID and the list of items, and then I'm going to pack it, right? So what is the package size we need to arrive at, right? Since I don't have the requirement is not very clear that how do we arrive at the package size based on the carton size. What I have done is package size is math.random star 10. For example, if it comes to zero point 0.7, the size of the package might become 7. So similar way we are modeling we are coming up with the size of the package. So it can be 100 as well. That's okay. We will see how. So this I'm just assigning a package size. I'm just simulating the package sizes on based on the random values. So next time, whenever I initialize a package, whenever I create a package will be becoming a random size. So it can be fit into a small, it can be become a medium, it can become a large as well. That's completely random. The next, I think we looked into timing, we looked into order, we looked into. Okay. The next thing that we need to look into it is it has been clearly told that we need to send a notification to the customer when the order is shipped. So we need something called a notification object, right? And the notification should be sent with a 6 digit. It is very clearly told that it has to be a 6 digit ID which is used to open the locker. So a notification is sent to a customer for a particular order, for a particular locker, and for this code. So these are the notification. So what we need to tell you for a customer, once the items are delivered to the locker, for this locker ID, use this code to open it. So this is what we need to tell, and that's the requirement as well. I think we looked into we looked into locker location. So we need to model something called locker package, right? Why is this class? An item kept in a locker has a validity of certain days. So I have model valid days. A locker package, an item which is kept in a package which is kept in a locker contains a locker ID, contains an order ID, a code, and the package delivered time. So we need to capture when it is delivered to the particular locker. So the time when the package got delivered to the locker is modeled in something called locker package. So what is this method? If it is a valid code, whether we have to verify the code, right? Whenever somebody goes and opens the locker, we can check that for this locker, because the notification contains only the notification, so we might not be able to verify or validate the code which when customer types this code either in the mobile or whatever interface, we need to validate it, right? How can we validate it? So we can validate against this class. The code would be stored in a hashed format or whatever it is, so that it is not visible to others as well. We check the supplied code is equal to the code that is already generated. This is how the locker package is modeled. We have we have looked into all the models which are the integral part of which constitute the locker design. Let's look into the service classes. Before that, we look into the repository classes. So since this is a standalone application, usually for this machine coding round, we are not expected to store this in databases. It is acceptable to store it in memory. So what I have used, so for a locker, I have a list of locker locations. I maintain a list of locker locations, and it is initialized as a array list. And what we can do, what are the other methods which we need for this locker location? Given a location ID, get me the lockers which are of this size. Okay, so that's what we need to do. Here I am not using the this location ID is a string, right? So what we need to do is, given the location coordinates, we need to find the locker. I assume that I abstracted that method out. It means that I assume that I have a method which is written when I supply the coordinates, the locker is fetched. So that's what I have abstracted out, which will be clearly visible right here. So the locker repository contains all the lockers. Whenever a locker ID is given, I need to fetch the locker in OAuth one time, because a customer may have the locker code. They can copy paste the locker code and search for the locker, right? we can give a small link. When they click this locker ID, it may go into a map and show the location of the locker, right? So we need to fetch the locker location in WAF one time. I maintained a map. Similar is the case. We might be storing that in cache or whatever it is that comes in system design. So the requirement is to get the locker size in the particular location. That's what I told some time back, that I abstracted out. Given a particular location, get me all the available lockers within the radius of 1 kilometer or whatever is. I assume that that function exists, and this locker list is going to give me all the lockers which are available. Once the lock in the nearby location, once that list is available, I am checking whether the locker status is available or not. This is an assumption that I have made. So we can tell or even comment out assumption. The near nearby lockers in radius are fetched from a service. So that is what we can assume. LOCK. Okay, fine. Forget about the spelling mistakes. The next repository that we can talk about is notification repository. So the notification repository stores the notifications which are sent to it, because sometimes we might have to retry sending the notification, because if the notification has to be sent as an SMS or whatever way it is, in the network, if we are facing any network failures, we might have to retry the notification. I have just persisted the notification in the notification repository. We can justify it. Why do we need to persist it? We may that this is why we need to persist it, and we need to have a notification status as well, whether it is been delivered or not. If it is not delivered, we cannot expect the customer to go and pick it up. And the notification can be sent into more than one ways. One is on the email, one is on a push notification, which is via a cell phone or whatever it is. The order repository is going to hold the orders, or the orders in memory, which contains the order object and the order ID as the ID. So we can easily fetch the order by ID by O of one time. This is the repository layer. So with right now we have come up with how do we store it, what are the models, and what are we going to store. Let's look into the business logic behind it, which is the service classes. I've just used a layered architecture. We may choose to use a domain design or whatever it is, based on the time and the ability of the candidate to come up with the design, right? Let's look into the delivery service, which is the key thing, right? We When an order is placed, the first step is go and find the nearest locker which is available. And then map the package size to the locker size. Get it for the appropriate package size. Get the locker size which can be used, and then fetch the nearby locker. Deliver it to the locker. Notify the customer. These are the 4 steps that we need to do whenever a customer places an order, and also check that whether the order is eligible to be placed in the locker. So these are the things that we need to do in the delivery service, right? Once the order is placed, what am I doing? Once the order is placed, I'm storing the order is persisted. As I assume that the order is persisted. For us to deliver the order, we need to fetch the order from the repository, and we are fetching all the items. The second step that we are doing, fetching all the items in the repository, packaging it. So creating a package of this. A package will have a package size, and we are going to get the mapping of package size to the order, the locker size, because a package we need to the orders are packaged. The package size need not be equal to the locker size, because lockers are custom made at different places, fitted at different places. A package is been done for a particular order which can be in different in sizes. So that mapping is what we are getting it. Okay, 1 minute. This is it. I've just come up with a small mapping algorithm. If the package size is less than, the volume is less than 10, it is small. If it is between 10, it is extra small. If it is greater than 10 and less than or equal to 20, it is small. If it is greater than 20 and less than or equal to 40, it is medium. Similar way, 40 to 50 is large, 50 to 70 is extra large, 70 to 100 is double extra large. This is how I am mapping it based on the volume of the packages. The double is the volume that we are getting. Similarly, we can come up with a mapping algorithm based on the package sizes to this algorithm. So this can be done by whatever way we can. The algorithm can be modified. I have just come up with a simple mapping algorithm. Finally, once we get the locker size, we need to go and find the lockers which are available for this size and the particular location. That is the step which has been clearly told. For a particular location, we need to find the locker. What are we doing here? We go to the locker service. We go and get the parameter is locker size and the geolocation which is passed. We are checking get the available locker based on the locker size. So check available lockers. What check available lockers does? We go and get the all the lockers based on the repository, and once we are getting the locker, which if we go to the repository get locker, what we did is we have made an assumption that we are going to get the lockers in a defined radius based on the preference location that is being done. Once we get all the lockers in the location, we go and check whether the locker status is available or it is already booked. So it is very clear that only when it is available, I am getting the locker. So do we need to get all the locker? No, we just get the first locker which is available. So since we get the list of lockers, I am returning the first locker. If there are no locker found, I am returning null. What are we seeking here? So when the locker is available, we say that the locker is booked. Otherwise, we are going to and then return the locker. Since the locker is returned here, we get the locker, right? So once we get the locker, we go to the delivery service. Now we have the locker here. Once the locker is available, we need to go and place the package in the locker, right? So we instantiate a class called locker package, and the locker package is the one which is going to have the code which is used to send the notification, and the locker package is used to is will be called when a customer tries to verify the code, right? Might be a verification service kind of thing, right? Where this model will be used is what I have come up with. So the locker package dot set order ID is the order ID. The locker package dot locker ID is the locker ID which we have come up with. Locker package dot set code, I am generating a random unique ID with the ID generator. So random utils, which is Apache Commons random utils. I am just generating a random number which is of length. It is clearly told that we have to generate a length of 6. I'm just passing it. So these are all things which should be clearly noted, and there will be assertions. The interviewer or the automated machine test assertions will be certainly based on the units of based on these numbers which we have given. So we need to be very clear. It cannot be 8. Okay. The locker. So we once the locker package is done, we need to store it, right? I'm just storing it locker package in the locker package repository, and once the item is placed in, I am setting the locker status to closed, and then once the locker item is delivered, we need to send a notification. So the notification service that notify the customer. It may be more than one notification, but for the object oriented design that we are coming up with, we need to get the notification. So we are getting the customer ID for the particular order. So order will have a customer associated with it. So I get the customer ID. We form a notification with the customer ID and the order ID, the locker ID, and the random alphanumericum that we have come up with. So it is not random alphanumeric. It is locker package dot get code. Sorry. Okay. And then we are persisting it. Finally, we are sending a notification. I'm emulating or simulating the notification, saying that, putting it in the console, saying that okay, notification is sent. In real world, there will be a separate notification service. We might want to send it the notification to them and specify what are the types of notifications, or list the pass on what are the types of notification which customer has subscribed to. They might have subscribed for notifications via SMS, email, and this uh, um, might be a push notification, or they might come to a chat as channel where they want to get it notified because they might be sitting in front of the machine all the time. So those all notifications will be sent. That is an assumption that we are making it. Okay. And once the notification is done, the order is delivered. This is the key part. This is the orchestrator. Delivery service is the complete orchestrator of everything. Let's look into the more core other core thing. So which is the locker service. Locker service will have a method called get locker, which we looked into based on during the delivery service. The next thing we have looked into, we have to look into is pick from locker. This is the method that we need to look into. So what we need to do is a customer, when they get the notification, they go and say that I want to pick the item from the locker. So we come to the locker service, and customer gives the locker ID to pick up, customer gives the code to pick up, and then the date time, right? Current date time when they are picking up, which is very important, because if we if if we have exceeded those 3 days, we need to throw an exception, right? So that is what that is why we are saying we are recording the current pickup time of by the customer. So what are we going? What are we looking into? We are going and looking into get the locker by the locker ID. Why are we fetching it like this? Because somebody may try to give a wrong locker ID, because a customer may have 4 5 items to pick up. Instantly, they may choose a different locker ID for and use this different code for this. So we are fetching the locker and checking that whether the locker is present. If the locker is not present, we are throwing an exception that you are trying to pick up where the locker, this locker ID is not the locker ID which you are trying to pick up. And the next is we have to go and verify the code. What are the code that is applied, whether it is associated with the appropriate package. So we are going and verifying whether the locker package contains the appropriate code which is equal to or not. And if it is not, the code is locker code is mismatched. The other thing which we might have to hook up in this code is valid code, which is particularly asked. We can add get code through mismatch exception if locker package dot is okay. This is locker package public boolean, right? Is valid code 1 minute. So we have to put locker package dot get, because it's an optional, is valid code of code. We need to check throw new. What is the exception which it throws? Pickup code expired exception. Throw new pickup code expired exception of pickup code expire. So we need to is valid code takes the current time. Sorry. Okay, so it is based on the expiration, right? What we have to say is we have the local date time, which is fast. So we go and check whether whether the code is expired or not. Since this method expects us to throw this exception, we are throwing this exception. When the locker package dot get validate of if if the code is expired, we have to throw this exception. These are the boundary cases which are clearly mentioned that we need to handle. Finally, what are we doing? If everything is passed, okay, we are getting the locker. We can check, can we pick up from the locker? When's this is also we are checking, right? So we are checking this separately as well. Locker, we are getting the locker. We are getting the locker location. We are checking the timing is in the scheduled time. For example, if the customer comes and checks that I want to open it at the night, so they might not be. If the item can be picked up this time, we will enable it to pick up, else we will not be allowing it to open at all, because it means that somebody is trying to open that by some abnormal means, right? So this condition has to be checked, even though even though we know we are checking whether the code is valid, whether it's greater than 3 days or not. If the customer is trying to open it, if somebody is trying to open it in the night with a code, we need to alert it, right? So that is why we are doing this condition here. If the current time is not closed time and the current time is greater than the open time and the current time is less than the closed time, we allow it to open. Otherwise we don't allow it to open. That's what we are checking here. Finally, once that is done, it means that customer has picked up, and we say that locker is closed, and the locker state is available. We say that okay, the locker is available for the next thing. um, and we have to delete the code because the code is already used. We set it, so the next time when they say enter the same code, we might not have a code to compare with, so we are setting it to null, so which means that we are invalidating the code. Otherwise, if the item cannot be picked up, so we are saying that okay, the pickup time is exceeded. If it is greater than 3 days, the pickup time exceeded exception, we are saying. So this is the pickup from locker scenario. So what we are emulating, we are trying to emulate how the customer picks from the locker which is assigned to them. That is the code that we looked into. Okay, so let us look into the test. The repository tests are simply setting those fields and trying to get and check whether the conditions are the items are not null and all these things. These are very basic tests which you should be able to look into it or even add to it. Coming up with the test data, have come up with a test data what for this simulation. I have come up with the lockers of different sizes. I've come up with a location which is mostly a real location, and I've tried to emulate a locker package. I've tried to emulate a locker. So with all these things, let's look into the delivery service test first, and then we will look into the locker service test, which are the two main important things. If we run all the tests are passing. That we need to just run and test. We'll come up with these test cases, but let's directly look into the delivery service test. So what are we doing is we are initially setting up data saying that order add the locations to the locker location repository, and then add the lockers from the locker locations to the locker repository, uh, create two orders, test dummy orders, and then initialize the delivery service. So these are the things which we do before running the test. Before all means it will get executed before every test gets executed, and that is executed only once. Let's look into what are we doing. As we looked into it, we try to call the deliver service, because the delivery service is the one. What it does, it picks the order, it tries to pack it, and compare the package size to the package size to the locker size, get has the it picks up the location from the order, uh, fetches the locker based on the locker size and the nearest location from the locker service or the locker repository. Use the locker service to fetch that from the locker repository, and then generates a code and then sends a notification. This exactly simulates the entire delivery done by a delivery person, right? So that's what we are trying to do here and test it. And once what are we going to assert? We can do lot of assertions, but for simplicity, I'm just checking whether the notification is sent. When the notification is sent, it means that the item is placed, right? So that is the final thing. So I'm checking whether the notifications order ID and the order that is being delivered are placed in the locker are the same. So that is the first thing that I'm testing. Let's run this. It is passing. So we need to come up with test cases whether the notification is sent, whether number of times the notification service is called, all these things. So that can be done via Marketos by marking all these things. Since this is a very simple Java application, I have not marked everything. I have just faked all the test cases by providing some test values. Think through like that. Ideally, we can mark whatever we have. So I have tried to test all the public methods. It means that it will be call all the private methods as well. First thing is in the locker service, I am trying to test if I pass the locker ID, will I be able to get the locker or not? That's a very simple test. I have the locker ID. Customer goes and checks, give me the locker, or tells that get the locker location or whatever it is. They might be able to get the locker. Second thing is it is similar by passing in the location as well. When I give the location, will I be able to get the locker with the size? This is used for locker allocation, right? So the locker service is called the locker service is called with a particular location ID. We'll check whether the locker is available or not in the particular location range with the availability status. That is the second test that we have run. I'm just running it and showing it. It is working. We should be able to trace it, right? So if we have to explore the user flow, which I have explained, I would recommend to clone the code, run the unit test. From this, we can drive the code as well. The next thing is should we have to map it, right? It has whether we will be able to give the appropriate package size and get the locker size or not. So that test is done here. Given a package size, will I be able to get the appropriate package size or not? We can assert for exceptions. So what we are doing is when the size is not matching, we are expecting the package size mapping exceptions. We can test that as well. So we have asserted the exception when we are passing a package size which is greater than 100. It will throw an exception which is of package size mismatching exception. We are asserting that the messages are equal. This is what we are doing it here. Yeah, so we should be able to assert every exceptions that we are throwing. One thing which we did not discuss is about the exceptions. We need to throw locker code mismatch exception when somebody types a wrong password, and we are throwing that type of exception. When we are trying to find a locker with the appropriate size, we are saying that locker not found exception, package size mismatch exception, that mapping exception just now we saw. Package peak time exceeded exception is what when we check the whether the package time exceeds, right? So what is that it is happening? So that is what is the packet time. Pickup code expired is we try to give a code which is more than 2 3 days old. We are throwing this pickup code expired exception. These are the things that these are the exceptions that we need to throw, and it has been given in the requirement as well. Yeah, with that we will go to the next test. uh, this test is the most important test. We try to emulate the pickup from the locker. We go and do the delivery, because delivery is the one delivers to the packer, the locker. Notification is sent with that particular order ID, and we are setting the locker time, the package delivered time as now, which means that every time when the package is placed in the locker, we are setting that current time, and we are trying to check whether we are able to pick up or not. So that is what is the pick from locker, right? We are going to check whether and once that is picked up, the locker state has to be changed, right? What are we asserting? We are asserting that whether the locker state is available or not post pickup is successfully done. We can assert many things right now. We are asserting whether, okay, once the item is picked up, the locker state becomes available, so the assertions are equal. So if I say local date time dot um, so we are simulating an exception case that we are setting the delivery date, the item delivered date into the locker 5 days before, and when somebody is trying to emulate the pickup, an exception is thrown which states the message of pickup code expired. So let us run this test case because it has been clearly asked in the requirement. It says that okay, pickup code is expired because the item got delivered 5 days before. So these are the test cases that I have handled. There are other test cases which we have handled. We have not looked into every test case as part of this video tutorial. Please clone this code and then take a look into what are the other test cases that we need to handle. With this, when we will touch base on what are those things which we need to consider when we need to scale these services as part of the system design. We have to go and ask how many of these lockers are expected, whether it is region specific or anybody can go and pick up from any other location. Ideally it should not be possible, but for example we can set up preferences based on we order and can the code be shared and somebody can pick up. That we can ask how many average number of users are there who are trying to utilize this locker services. What are the average number of lockers which are available in a particular country? How fast this locker service is going to grow? How many users are expected to utilize the service concurrently? These are the things that we may need to ask while we come up with a design. And the other thing that we need to do is, for example, this service has to allocate the locker, ensure that the locker is allocated at the time of order. So what is the response time that we are looking into? Are we looking into 200 millisecond or less than 200 millisecond of allocation? Or can we check that, can we go and say that, okay, Amazon will try best or the retailer will try best to allocate the locker if the locker can, if the item can be delivered in next 2 days, because at a particular point during a peak season, right? What happens is it becomes very difficult to find a locker on a particular day. Is the customer okay to accept the delivery 1 or 2 days later? We can ask the preferences. So based on that, they may get a discount as well. We need to open up and ask these kind of questions uh, to the system, the interviewer, while we face this problem. With this, we have come to the end of this coming up with a design for Amazon Locker or any other locker service where items has to be delivered. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Until we meet next time, this is Bala. Thanks for your time.